everyone, it's Emma. Today I'm doing a little book haul for you all. Most of them are from my trip, but some of them were also birthday presents. They are currently all in my Wild Rumpus tote bag. If you bring one of their tote bags into the stores, they'll give you 20% off of your purchase, which is kind of amazing. I didn't know that until this trip. I'll start with this one. I got it right before my trip. It is Lange's new poetry book. I'm actually in the middle of reading this one right now. I'm a little over halfway through and I'm loving it, just as I love all her other poetry books. I still think Memories is going to be my favorite, but I'm highly enjoying this one. It's nice to read because it feels like she wrote it from a different place in her life. Her experiences that she has experienced more recently in her life, if that makes sense. If you don't know Lange, I mention her a lot. She's a poet, but her books include poetry and prose. I think she's a good one to start with if you're not much into poetry. Very enjoyable, very lovely, heartbreaking, full of lots of love poems. Enjoy that one a lot. The first time that I went to Wild Rumpus, I picked up two books. The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. This is one of my brother Will's favorite books. It was one of his life-changing, writer-changing kind of books, and he tells everybody to read it, and I still haven't read it, so I thought I would pick it up. I honestly don't know a lot about the plot of this one, but the back says, "The unicorn lived in a lilac wood and she lived all alone. So she ventured out into the safety of the enchanted forest on a quest for others of her kind. Joined along the way by the bumbling magician Schmendrick and the indomitable Molly Grew, the unicorn learns all about the joys and sorrows of life and love before meeting her destiny in the castle of a despondent monarch, and confronting the creature that would drive her to extinction." I usually enjoy my brother's favorite books, so I'm excited to get to this one. It is also blurbed on the front by Patrick Rothfuss, and he says, "The Last Unicorn is the best book I have ever read. You need to read it. If you've already read it, you need to read it again." That gives me really high expectations. The other book that I got that day is Emily of New Moon by L.M. Montgomery. L.M. Montgomery is the same author as Anne of Green Gables, and I've read a little bit of this book, but then I put it down. I was reading my mom's copy of it, and when I saw this beautiful edition, I knew I had to pick it up. This is definitely going to be a spring read for me. I'm not quite ready for it, but I feel like as soon as the spring weather comes, I'm going to be picking this one up. It's about this girl, Emily, who is an orphan. She is a writer. She's very ornery. She gets into a lot of trouble, and you follow her over the course of 3 books throughout her life as she grows up. So I'm excited to finish it and to have this beautiful cover. I can't wait to get the other 2 in this edition. The next book that I picked up is Autumn, a novel by Ali Smith. This one was a finalist for the Man Booker Prize, and I've heard a lot about it recently because this author is releasing 1 novel for each season, which is so intriguing to me. As soon as I saw Autumn and Winter, I knew I was going to have to read all 4 of these books. I've never read this author, but the back says, "A luminous meditation on the meaning of richness and harvest and worth." Autumn is the first installment of Ali Smith's seasonal quartet, and it casts an eye over our own time. Who are we? What are we made of? Etc., etc. It sounds really interesting, and it's one of those books that, like, when you hold it, it is the perfect size, and like the spacing and the lettering, you know, one of those nerdy book things that just, it makes me excited to read it because I know it's going to feel so nice to hold. Anyways, I'm not going to wait till autumn to read this, I think I'm going to pick it up fairly soon. I actually already started reading it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to read it right now. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. The last book that I got before I dive into some manga is Tales of the Peculiar by Ransom Riggs. I actually do not own my own copy of this. My brother has a copy, but I haven't read it all, and I thought it would be good to get my own copy so that I could read it for myself. This book is like a collection of stories in the series. They have this book, and it plays a big part in the series, and I think it is so beautiful. I think the illustrations are so beautiful, and there are illustrations throughout, which is always a selling point for me, so I'm really excited to have this one. I forgot a book because this one was a birthday present that just came in the mail yesterday. It is called Octavia's Brood. As soon as I saw the cover, I was like, ooh, interesting. So one of my friends, Mason, who I think has been in my vlogs before, sent me this as a birthday present. It is a collection of science fiction stories from social justice movements. Come on now. It sounds awesome. Mason really enjoyed this one and was telling me all about it, and it just sounded like it was going to be a very interesting, very exciting, kind of emotional read. I also have been wanting to get more into science fiction, and Mason knows a lot more about science fiction than I do. Thanks, Mason. Thanks for the birthday gift. And then I've got 2 manga. The first one I already showed in my vlog that went up yesterday, so I won't talk too much about it, but it's Orange the Future by Ichigo Takano. I mentioned the series Orange a decent amount on my channel. It is the first manga series I ever read, but this is kind of a follow-up story from a different character's point of view, and it is a sequel in the sense that it takes place after the other installments. I really liked where the original series ended. I liked the kind of ambiguous ending we were left with, so I'm a little nervous to read this one because I'm kind of nervous that I just won't enjoy it as much, but I had to get it anyways so I could see a little bit more of these characters who I love. I actually think I'm going to read it today. And then the other manga that I got completely on a whim. It is Maiden Abyss Volume 1. This is a show, and I believe it was a webcomic before it was a show, and they started putting out the manga volumes in the physical form, and as soon as I flipped through it, I kind of fell in love with the art style. Something about the way that the characters are drawn is really beautiful to me. I really don't know that much about the storyline, but I think it's about this girl who wants to become what is called a cave raider, and her mom was a cave raider, so she kind of wants to follow in her mom's footsteps and become an adventurer, but that is really the most that I know about it. I just thought the art style was beautiful and I couldn't resist. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. So that is everything that I'm going to haul today. I am going to do another haul of like bookish things, journals and pins and that kind of stuff that I picked up, so keep your eye out for that. It will be one of my videos this week. Let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these books, especially Autumn and Octavia's Brood. I would be really curious to know if any of you guys have read those and what you thought, obviously. I hope you have a lovely day or night or afternoon wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video.